I am a Jew, and I will never hide it from nobody. If they don't like me, tough luck.
I am a non-believer after the war because I lost all my family, and my life was very, very difficult, particularly after I was a Streikbrecher.
I'm not religious, but I am traditionally Jewish, and I like my family to feel that they are Jewish, and that they to carry on the tradition.
I have a strong belonging to the Jewish people that is unshakable. As a child, I used to love to synagogue, but I am not, I lost my religion on the way. I just lost it.
I took my kids to shul. I want them to know that they are Jewish. That's number one. But I personally now, when they got older and they could look after themselves, I'll leave it to them.
As a child, they asked me what is my name. Everybody changed it for Eva, Yiva, Yiv, anything. And I said, my name is Chava. And they start to laugh like anything. And I said, you can laugh, but I still am Chava.
I am more Jew than a lot of Jews. I am a real Jew and more Jew, but not a religious Jew. I don't go to synagogue. I lost all my family. And that's put a certain feeling, certain things on me.
I feel like I'm a Jew. I did, because my father was very religious. He was praying 3 times a day, and I have to follow. He was going to the shul. He took me with him. I remember I was a kid, so the Jewishness is still with me.
I was just aware I was Jewish, and somehow, for reasons not clear to me, I knew I would never marry out. I don't know why.
I am very strongly identified culturally with Judaism.
My father was more secular than my mother, but we had a kosher, secular, religious household.
My father was the president of the Hebra Kadisha for most of the time, and the president of the boys' school and the boys' orphanage and so on.
I was brought up not in a religious home. My father, except going Shabbat and the Yom Tov, the shul, he was not religious.
I had a very, very religious grandmother. I wasn't religious, but my husband, he was a believer. But I can't understand why we still believe.
In 1942, we converted to Christianity.
We were threatened that if we didn't convert, our parents will not survive the war.
The rumor was around that that would save you. It was just another rumor, which was not true.
It didn't take long to find out that this whole rigmarole about Catholicism was a joke, a big lie, because the Vatican had agreed to permit Hitler to do anything he described in his book Mein Kampf, providing he left the Catholic Church in Germany to do its work as normal.
When I came back to Lodz, everything where we lived, everything was nothing was, everything was destroyed. But my grandmother's picture was on the floor. My grandfather, my grandmother, she was very religious. She didn't know that somebody is clicking the camera on her. But that picture was on the floor like telling me, Helen, keep your tradition.
Then I came to be in a concentration camp called Bunavenke. I felt I have reached for something. I felt that my life is, I could be killed or be safe any minute. So that's what the time I was start praying. I turned away back for that's what I was brought up. But I was brought up religious, like all again.
You had committed yourself to a new religion, and your parents had survived thanks to what you were told as a child.
Before we came to Australia, I had to go to a mikveh and got dipped 3 times because we needed some assistance in paperwork from Joint organization, and of course for that we had to be Jewish.
After the war, I had to sort of discover where I came from and what my origins were. My mother, to help us, found a Jewish youth organization I should join. She organized it all to bring me back to some form of Jewishness.
Then I was liberated, which happened by big miracles. When I stay alive, that was just unbelievable. So I understand that that doesn't happen nothing just like that. I saw the divine presence over me. That's the answer.
I have always sort of held it against my parents that they kept my sister and myself ignorant of our origins. Although my father had been a yeshiva bucher.
We keep a kosher house. I go to synagogue maybe 2-3 times a year. But we have a son, he married Jewish. We have a daughter who is 46, who's living in Israel. She married there. She's got 3 grandchildren, naturally being brought up as quite Orthodox.
I want my children and grandchildren to continue in the same way and not to forget that they're Jewish.
If it wouldn't be for my husband, I wouldn't be a believer.
When I started singing, and I come to the synagogue here, and I saw this is the way to live for me, and I felt better. Even my wife, who never was brought up religious, she came from Russia, when a communist party, she did everything for me, made me happy. So my house was kosher, we kept Shabbat, observant Shabbat, strictly the best, and that's all I stay.
We've suffered so much for being Jews, and I don't want this suffering to have been for nothing.